Hey everybody, it's Jenny McGarvey, and I'm going to share with you today how I created the page Disneyland at Night. As you can see, I have 4 photos all ready to go for this particular layout. I printed them on my Canon selfie printer, and the one is a 4x4, and then the other three, are 2x3s. I'm going to trim them up and get them ready to be used on this particular page. One of them has a Snapchat filter on there, but I won't be using that part of it because I plan on using a paper punch to just punch the little portion of my son out of the photo. And that's kind of twofold. One, I don't really necessarily want the filter on this particular layout. And then two, I'm following a sketch and I don't want to, let me back up. I want to use a circle photo as one of the circles in the sketch. I'm going to link up the sketch at the end of this video. I'll have a little picture of it or whatever so you can see the original inspiration for that. Anyway, I am using the Scraptastic Club Me, Myself, and I kit for this particular page, and it's full of crazy awesome color. So much fun color. And so I'm using some of the exclusive die cuts from the kit and going to spread them all throughout the page and figure out which ones are going to work the best and then also be enough, like, because some of them I don't need to use all of them, I only need to use some of them, and so I want to make sure that I get the right number of those on this particular page. One thing is that I am using no patterned paper on this layout, which is super weird because I am a patterned paper freak. I went through all the patterned paper in the kit and I was going to use one as the background paper, but then with so many embellishments, I decided against it. Then I looked through and I was like, I can use so many of these different embellishments. I don't even need to cut up any patterned paper. So I'm just using all of the fun stickers and die cuts that are included in this kit. And believe me when I say there are so many that are just perfect. And I'm really a huge fan of die cuts, which I'm not sure when that came to be. Maybe I always was and I just never even really thought about it. But I love die cuts. So I absolutely am thrilled to get to use so many of them. So after I've gotten the basic layout of the page done, which is what you see here, I started adhering all the pieces down. And like usual, I had just sort of laid them out to make sure that I liked them where they were and that kind of thing. And then I am getting them all adhered and then doing just the teeniest bit of layering, which again is kind of weird because I'm a big layering fan. But this particular layout, there's so much going on, I really just don't even need to layer so much. I could have definitely done it right there in that cluster. That would have been fine. But no need. I'm keeping it really linear, really clean, and honestly kind of my favorite type of layout to begin with. So as you can see, the bulk of the page is adhered, and so I'm going to just continue to fill in some of the blanks with different bits and pieces from the kit using some of these different fun stickers and mostly that to finish up, though I will bring in some of the more dimensional elements here in just a second. I'm going to just finish and figure out how I can add some more of the die cuts to kind of enhance the overall look of the page. Like for example, that arrow. I knew I still needed something up in that upper corner, and then it kind of hit me to use another one of those arrows, which are really cool anyway, so it all kind of works. And so I needed to pull up one of the die cuts, and so I could adhere them back down. Now I'm just using, for most of the die cuts, I'm using my smaller sticky thumb tape runner, not because there's anything wrong with my ATG gun, but just because of the size. Now I'm going to use a stamp from Scraptastic Club from the July stamp set. This is kind of a big deal, and I used my VersaFine ink, which is what I've been using for the past, I want to say 5 years, the exact same ink pad, and it really is just the best. You're going to have the most success using the VersaFine ink. I mean, without a doubt, especially on something like that smaller stamp that I just stamped underneath the photo. It really is just the best for stamping. It gives the most clean, detailed look at your stamps without having to try very hard. So As you can see, here's where I pulled out the dimensional elements, the different wood veneers, the acrylics, all kinds of different awesome options. I'm not using any of the flare because I had already pulled out so many circle elements from the die cuts and I didn't want to overdo it. I felt like I really kind of had plenty already. But I will use a few acrylics, and then I will also use 2 of the little hashtag wood veneers that are so cute. I love them. And I don't always get to use them because a lot of these dimensional elements, when I'm doing some of my other projects, like memory planning, for example, I keep the projects so flat. And so it always just excites me to use these dimensional elements on my scrapbook pages. So now I just used my tape runner on the wood veneer, and then what I needed to do is I rubbed my finger along the back to remove the adhesive or move it over from where the holes are in between the different letters, just so that you couldn't really see the adhesive outside of that. But I like the tape runner for these types of things. It's really helpful and it makes sure that they stick really well. Now I'm going to move on to my title because the overall design of my page is finished, and I'm going to use these big black alphabets to spell out night, and then I'm going to use the smaller pink alphabets to spell out Disneyland. Now I love both of these alphabet stamps or alphabet sticker sets. I just adore the size of both and the font. I think that having super clean sans serif fonts is just perfect and I love it. So this is really great for me. I did just rip that little end, but you know what? It doesn't need to be perfect. I'm totally not a freak about having things be perfect, so I just put it back together and kept moving on. Now I realized after I spelled out Disneyland that I didn't use or leave room for the word at, which is what I needed. So I'm going to go and pull out the little circle alphabet stickers, but first I'm going to try the small little, as you can see right there, the little rectangle ones, and they just don't work the way that I wanted to. So I'm just going to use the circle ones to spell out at the end of Disneyland, and I love the fun that the blue adds and how it goes with the rest of the page. Then I'm done except for the tiniest bit of journaling. So all I'm going to do is take my black pen and draw some journaling lines and then add a couple of lines of journaling, and that's it. So thank you so much for stopping by and checking out my video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up. It lets me know that you liked it, and it also lets YouTube know the types of things that you like to see. Thank you so much, and make it a great day.